along.
Be aware, roger that.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to On the Fly. I'm Jamison Coyle. Dave Reed will be joining me in just a bit. A light slate in the National Hockey League, just 3 games on the schedule this Sunday, and a bit of funny quirk across sports where a team from Pittsburgh is playing a team called the Jets, with the Steelers hosting the New York Jets in the NFL, and the Pens heading north of the border to visit Winnipeg. But unlike the NFL Jets, the Hockey Jets are undefeated and looking for their best start in franchise history with a victory over the Penguins on Sunday.
There's Brian Little with the uniform on and getting the huge round of applause, as he should, and all smiles.
Jets fans, please welcome back for his final shift with the Winnipeg Jets, number 18, Brian Little. Jets fans, let's hear it one more time for number 18, Brian Little.
Morrissey lost in the top of his own crease. Eller in front for Puljujarvi. Raquel backdoor. Hayes scores! Big play, Kevin Hayes. And a power play goal for the Penguins. They strike first and are up 1-0.
Sneaky is the big guy.
Up top, he connects to Carlson. He'll wrist it, save Comrie. Eller scores! The rebound right there for Lars Eller. Points in 4 straight. He's red hot. And the Pens are up 2-0.
He's dependable. He's easy to play with.
And a well-timed power play coming up here for Winnipeg. Unless they can score, the extra attacker coming. Nikolai Ehlers continues on, finds Connor, scores! Boy, did they need that. Kyle Connor cuts the Penguins lead to 2-1.
A guy that can put the puck in the net. Found the right guy.
Steps into one. Kicked away by Comrie. Score!
An delicious shot. Watch it go into Graves right here. He doesn't know where it is. Kind of rides up his pants into his jersey, down his back. Just sits right there.
Ehlers steps up. Good play to take it away. Nikolai Ehlers out front. Score! Nebraska! And the Jets have their first lead of the day.
30 seconds left in this second period to go up by 1.
All 5 goals in this game scored in this period, and the last 3 belong to Winnipeg. Hit hard by Miller, but Eller gets the puck back. Here he comes. Shot! Scores! Lars Eller! This guy is in video game mode right now. Everything he touches turns to goals. Penguins are tied.
Yeah, his 4th of the season. 2nd of this game.
Face-off win of Morrissey. Backdoor loose in front. They score. It's Adam Lowry.
Captain on captain, and Lowry cleans up that face-off back, and off of that, Lowry makes his way right to the net. Nice little deflection right there by Appleton. Chaos of who's got who off of face-offs.
Taking it away. Neil Pionk. He'll drop it. Appleton. Pionk scores! It's Appleton's goal. Mason Appleton. And it's 5-3 Winnipeg.
Sends the Jets in full flight. So him heading towards the net gives this Jets team a 2-goal lead.
Empty net. Penguins. Penguins trying to make it a 1-goal game. DeMello under duress. A pile up in the corner. Raquel reached in and Morrissey takes it free. Morrissey, that gets through. They don't need a rider to the open net. Scores! They start this new season with a record of 5-0. The only undefeated team in the National Hockey League, and they beat the Penguins 6-3.
The Jets, they are off to a flying start with a 6-3 victory over the Penguins on Sunday. The Jets improved to a perfect 5-0 on the season. Not only is it the first time the franchise has ever won 5 straight games to start a season, they've scored an average of almost 5 goals a game and own a pretty impressive power play in that span as well. As promised, Dave Reed in the house here. Maiden voyage on the network this year. Great to see you back. Let's dive in with some really positive news. The start in Winnipeg. The wins are there. They're 5-0, and the offense is rolling as well.
It is rolling. It took them a little while in this game against the Pens to get going as Pittsburgh got going. You know, I'd say they woke up earlier. But for the Winnipeg Jets, they've got skill throughout the lineup. They play a smart defensive game. We saw that last year. And even with Scott Arniel running the show this year full time, and he is making sure this team is taking care of business defensively, and that's resulting in fantastic offense. Ehlers was on fire. His ability to find the open player, eyes in the back of his head in a couple of his passes. The first pass, this is remarkable. You're throwing it through everybody, cross ice, through a seam for a perfect tape-to-tape pass, and then the little shimmy, the little fake, and the backdoor pass. This is a team that scores off the rush. This is what I'm talking about, Ehlers. He comes in, a little bit of a fake and a beautiful backdoor pass. They score off the rush. They can score on the power play at just under 50%, which is incredible. Now, that's not going to keep up. But right now, it's very impressive. They can score on the winning the battles down around the front of the net. They score from the turnover game, on the transition game. This is a team that is quick. They're on their game. Their defense is in shape, and they're a tough team to play against. But it looked like Pittsburgh was going to take this game over throughout the end of the first, into the second. And the Winnipeg Jets just cranked it up another notch and got those 3 quickies.
They got the offense. They got the defense. They also have the goaltending right now, too. They have the reigning Vezina Trophy winner, Connor Hellebuyck. Didn't start this one. 4-0-0 to start the season for him. Eric Comrie comes in, and he picks up right where Hellebuyck left off.
It's a lot of pressure on Eric Comrie. When you are the number 2 and you know you're probably going to get one of 5 starts, because Hellebuyck plays a lot of hockey, and he wants to play a lot of hockey. And when you're Eric Comrie, you're going to come into games, you've got to be sharp. And you've got to be sharp because the team around you, that's what's expected. He was very good in this game, especially when Pittsburgh really turned it on the second half of the first period, and it ended up 0-0 after 1, and the start of the second, when the Pittsburgh Penguins really pushed the pace of the game, and Comrie had to make the stops, and the Winnipeg Jets were kind of, I'd say, floundering a little bit in this game. Once the team got their offense, they were able to stay in the game because of Eric Comrie, and that is a huge boost. When you know you've got Hellebuyck, the best in the game as of last year's Vezina Trophy, and now you've got a young goaltender. I always call him young, even though he's been around a while, but maybe not as experienced with games played. But Comrie did a great job against the Pens.
Not the result Pittsburgh was hoping for. 6-3 the final. They came up on the short side of that one. But some things that we did like in this one, depth scoring and the power play scoring yet again. 2 things that we didn't see a whole lot of last season, and 2 reasons maybe this team barely missed the playoffs.
Yeah, Pittsburgh scored 40 power play goals. That's under 50% of the games they scored a power play goal. And right now they're clicking at just over 70% of the games the Penguins scoring goals. They were 30th in the league on power play, believe it or not, last year. Hayes gets this goal to start with. The power play, yes, it's clicking. That's a very good thing. You're going to need that. And also Lars Eller with a couple of goals. Hayes, their secondary scoring is going well. Eller he's on pace for a career year. He had 15 last year, and Hayes had 13 last year. Both of these guys are scoring goals, and the key to Pittsburgh right now isn't the matter of depth scoring. The Stars are scoring. It's their team defense is really struggling. You can't blame it on goaltending. Team defense are allowing a lot of goals. They gave up one empty netter in this one. But the Penguins have got to find a way to start shutting things down defensively. And in this game, after the first period 0-0, it was looking as though, you know what, they're going to be all right. They're starting to control the game. And they just fell apart late in the second period. And that's something that's Coach Sullivan's really going to be concerned about. They're scoring goals. They're playing well as a group. They're getting depth scoring throughout the lineup, as we talk about. But they've got to find a way to stop the puck from entering their own net. And it's not a goaltending issue. This is a team issue right now. We've talked about it last year when the Pens ran into problems. It was the same thing. We'll see if they can fix that quickly.
All right, no problems on the Winnipeg side of things. 5-0 to start the year. Coming up on the Fly, don't look now, but Ross Colton leads the Avs in goals this season. Yep, just like they drew it up. Avs, Sharks. We got the highlights when we come back.
Are you certain he'll fit?
Sure.
Are you for imprint certain?
Certainty matters. When you need certain promo gear, you can be certain 4 Imprints got it. Quality apparel? Got it. Drinkware? Got it. Bags? High-tech? Outdoor? Got it, got it, got it. So go get it at 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain.
Something how are
Oh, not now.
yeah, dude, that doesn't look good.
I know what to do.
What's that?
I'm going to castnetusa.com. I can apply in minutes, and if approved, I can have the money as soon as the same business day.
Oh, nice save.
Saving the day is easy. With CashNet USA.
When you need money fast, be the hero. Go to CashNetUSA.com to apply for the money you need now.
Shopping for insurance.
The unexpected can happen to any of us. That's why SelectQuote makes it easy to get the life insurance coverage you need to protect your family for less than $1 a day. Now get up to a $2 million term life policy with no medical exam and same-day coverage. Make sure your family is protected from the unexpected.
Visit SelectQuote.com now. SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
The tour poster's here. They must have ordered 1 inch by 2 inches.
I hate it. I wish I had my angry eyebrows on.
I thought we told her to use U-printing.
The people at uprinting.com don't just help you print. They help you print like a pro. So whether you want to impress your fans or grow your business, choose Uprinting when it has to be right the first time.
Welcome back to the NHL. Crowd on their feet. He scores! The signature Austin Matthews shot. Unbelievable! How did he make that stop? Bobrovsky with a robbery. Marvelous quickness with his hands. What a play.
You have witnessed history.
Unbelievable!
The San Jose Sharks select Matthew Pellegrini.
They're back, and so are we. NHL Tonight on NHL Network.
Tonight, the Avalanche at the SAP Center, the Shark Tank in San Jose, to take on those San Jose Sharks. Avs looking for back-to-back wins for the first time this season.
The Avs power play was 1 for 5 against the Ducks, and it dipped. Pass now to the near side. Here's McKinnon to the dot. Gives it up. Shot. Score! Ross Colton, it's a power play goal, and the Avs have the 1-0 lead. Ross Colton is off to an amazing start. That's his 5th goal of the season.
Who'd have thought we'd be saying at the start of the year that Ross Colton's the juggernaut on the first power play unit sitting in the slot?
Back here at the Shark Tank in San Jose, the Avs with their second power play of period at number 1. He'll find McCarr. Kale looking for a shooting line. McKinnon one-timer. That's blocked. Bruno was right there and sacrificed his body. Here's Girard straight away. Back to McKinnon it goes. Kale walks in, shoots. Oh my goodness, did Vanacek get a piece of that? Kale had to hitch because he couldn't handle the pass. Otherwise, he had a wide open net. The Avalanche with a 1-0 lead. If you're just joining us, Ross Colton on the power play in the early going. In front, shot, score! Ross Colton, an excellent feed. It's his 2nd of the game, his 6th of the season. And the Avs have taken a 2-0 lead. And right now, if you had to say it, my goodness gracious, Ross Colton for the Rocket Richard Award. Sharks back on the power play on the near side.
Survey. Slides it down low, and they score! William Eklund, perfectly executed, and it's 2-1. Huge goal for the Sharks. They needed that.
You've got 40 seconds of a 5-on-3. Here's Kale. Far side, one-timer, save, rebound. Oh, Colton couldn't put it into the empty net. I think he went off the outside of his skate.
Colton, he didn't have a whole lot of time and space to whap that into the back of the net, but that was their best chance.
Look, contested penalty coming up on O'Connor. It's going to be an interference call, I'm sure. Avs need to touch up, but that puck is out into the neutrals. Oh, we have a fight. Here we go. Thrawn going toe-to-toe with LOC. Down goes O'Connor.
Here comes the hit. Definitely sticks the leg out. That is definitely illegal. And then Henry Thrawn comes over to defend his teammate. Didn't like that hit.
After 2 periods, it remains Avs 2, Sharks 1.
Firing ahead. Here's McKinnon. Drops it off. Far side shot. Saved by Vanacek. He robs Rantanen with his right toe.
Just can't get your stick turned around. There's no way. That was a wide open net for Colton.
The Avs now starting to find that fire. And that jam in the slot. Kimmy Ronta backhand shot. He scores! Yoel Kimmy Ronta. Great feed from Manson. He gets Vanacek down. And the Avs have taken a 3-1 lead over San Jose for Kimmy Ronta. It's his first goal and first point of the season.
The net's empty.
On the stick of McCarr. He'll fire it all the way down and into an empty net. Cale McCarr will not miss, and the Avs have put it away. It's now a 4-1 lead. The Avs stack back-to-back W's.
Another season, another record that Cale Makar is chasing down. In the Avalanche 4-1 win over the Sharks, Makar collected 2 assists and a goal to extend his season-opening point streak to 6 straight games. He's now tied for the second longest season opening point streak by a D-man in Avalanche Nordique's history. All right, Reader's back. Look, offense, Cale Makar, that has not been an issue. It's been defense, and really it's been goaltending to start this season. Justus Annunen comes in, first start of the season, allows just 1 goal. This is exactly what this team needed.
And the goal was a power play goal, which their penalty killing is 29th in the league. Has not been good, giving up 6 shorthanded goals in 6 games. Goaltending is the big issue. And you can't even say it's team defense. It's pretty much Georgiev has not been strong. Justus Annunen was very good last year. He played 14 games in the National Hockey League for Colorado. He was a third-round pick in 2018 for the Avs. He had a .928 save percentage. That is extremely good. This is a young, drafted goaltender that the Avs are expecting to be the guy of the future. He looked really good in this game. Yes, it's San Jose, but it's a start. He gave up 1 goal, and like I said, it was a power play goal. It was an in-tight goal. But for the Avs, they don't need a goaltender to win them the games. They just need that goaltender to keep you in the game. And that's exactly what Annunen did. And if they can get more goaltending like this, make the saves when they need them, I think we're going to see the Avs put more wins together as they did in this game.
Back-to-back wins. Ducks and Sharks, not the toughest of opponents, but right games.
That's right.
And get back in the win column. 2 in a row for the Avs. We'll see where they take it from here. When we come back, if it's one thing we know about Adrian Kempe, he loves playing the Ducks. Check out Juice's latest beauty against Anaheim after the break.
Are your headlights cloudy and oxidized, making your car look bad? Are they underperforming when you need them most? Cerakote's Headlight Restoration Kit restores weathered headlights back to like new and keeps them that way for life. Stop wasting your time with solutions that don't last. Cerakote's kit includes everything you need to go from this to this. Simply wipe away oxidation, give them a light sanding, and apply the ceramic coating. That's it. The True Ceramic technology does the rest. Buy any of Cerakote's #1 selling ceramic products for under $20 at these leading retailers today.
Time out, time out, time out, time out, time out!
Listen up, get tight.
This is the most important timeout I've ever called.
Things are getting out of control out there, and we need to regroup.
Hate.
Hate is winning out there.
Not on these fields.
In our communities. On our streets. In our schools.
And we need to stop it.
So let's take this moment
To change the momentum.
and call a timeout
On hate. Together. Together.
This will be the thing that I chase till I can't chase it anymore.
If you're going into war, you want to just put it all out there because you really don't know what the hell could happen.
Maybe outside there's not as much pressure, but when we get in between the walls of our locker room, we have more pressure on ourselves than anybody.
Let's go! Think in right now!
Well, the rivalry starts here. Game 1 of 4 between these two Southern California rivals.
The Kings come into this one 2-1-2. They were out east for 18 days. Oh, nice pass by Terry. A great chance flying in off the wing from Petrano, but he hoisted it over top of the net.
Yeah, he just airmailed it. I think that puck kind of flipped up on his stick at the last second. Frank Petrano got that puck, but you could see it was rolling.
Killorn again on the right wing boards. De Gauthier in the corner, hands it off to the net. Carlson shoots. Save is made in tight.
Really the first shift in this period where the Ducks had pressure, and they certainly did. Tries to go top corner. You can see Rick makes a real good stop.
A wave off the icing with 7.5 left. Second period scoreless. Turnover. Terry leaves it. Strong shoot save. Rebound. Just nudged wide by Petrano.
But Ryan Strome throws it there and a big fat rebound. What a clear by Edmondson.
Well, serving in down low. Gavrikov back for Anderson, and neatly to Kopitar and across on right wing behind the defense and on goal. Kempe shoots and scores! Adrian Kempe starts the scoring here tonight early in the third period.
What a breakout. What a breakout by the
Kings. I mean, it starts deep in the Kings zone. You have everyone making the move to it. You talk about puck support, and then the final pass is just a cherry on the cake.
And now Fabry for Anaheim. Across to Zegras, off his stick, and the Kings send it right back down. Now a turnover in. Score! Alex Laferriere! Just like that, Laferriere gives the Kings an insurance goal here at 8:58, third period. 2-0 LA.
Transition by the Kings. Now, there's obviously a big turnover by the Ducks here, but it's one of those situations where you keep putting pressure on. It gets to the neutral zone, but the Kings are able to break it up, and then quickly the other way. Then quick hands, quick release. Kings lead by 2.
Terry to the net. Terry centers. Save is made off Vetrano. Terry sets up Vetrano. Big stop by big save Dave.
He keeps looking at the bench, and no one's looking at him. Now he heads to the bench, and Strome tips it in.
With the Ducks finally on the board, Ryan Strome with a nifty little redirect. Gets it across to Terry, a one-touch shot pass redirected by Ryan Strome. And the Ducks have got some life. Goaltender is pulled.
Now Fiala, empty net, moves in. Fiala digs, scores! Kevin Fiala finally rewarded for all of his chances here tonight with the empty netter with 1:07 left to make it 3-1 LA. Watched by Anderson. He throws it in front, cleared away by the Kings, and cleared down the ice towards the empty net. Score! Another empty net goal. I think this carom shot is from Mikey Anderson.
Adrian Kempe really loves playing the Ducks. With his tally in the Kings' 4-1 victory on Sunday, Kempe now has 15 goals in his last 19 games against Anaheim. Even better, 3 of those goals are game winners, including the one in Sunday's contest. You talk about adversity to start a season. First of all, this team without Drew Doughty, right? We know the injury to their veteran defenseman, but also, how about the schedule to start this year? They haven't been home since October 1st. That includes a preseason game in Quebec City against the Boston Bruins. 7-game road trip to start the season, but with the win against the Ducks, that guarantees them over 500 on that 7-game start to the season.
Coaches and management look at it. Players don't worry about it. You want to win every game. Everybody does. But logically, you say, let's win every home game. Let's go 500 on the road. That's 41 at home, and you get 20 on the road. That's a pretty good record. You're almost 100 points. That's going to get you in the playoffs. If you are a 500 team on the road, that's fantastic. The toughest part of this, it's the start of the season. I played on many road trips. A long road trip is 7 days. With all the teams in the West and in the South, LA doesn't have to travel as much as they used to 20 years ago. There are more teams, a lot closer. This is a long trip. They were in the East. These are all East Coast games. Remember, they're only going to go out there once, which is fantastic. In the dead of winter, they're not worrying about getting up into Montreal in the dead of winter, up into Toronto in the dead of winter. They struggled in Ottawa. They gave up 8. They were terrible against Toronto. They gave up 6. They rebounded against Montreal, where they only gave up 1 to 4-1-1. They played extremely well against Anaheim. Maybe Adrian Kempe is kind of like almost like a semi-home game in Anaheim in LA. It's kind of around the corner.
Yeah, they got to sleep in their bed last night,
which is fantastic. Yeah. And that's the key. And that's kind of what you look at on road trips. A road trip is great for a 3 or 4 day trip. You can get 2 or 3 games in. It's just the guys, boom, you're playing, and away you go. You come back home. All it is hockey. You focus for that 3 or 4 days, then you get a couple of days off. You can relax. A 14-day or 20-day road trip, that is a lot of time away from your life that you're taking away from your wife, your family, your loved ones. To concentrate on hockey for 21 days straight and to not get away from it, it's very difficult. And even if you get an off day on the road, you're still on the road.
Yeah.
And LA's done a great job. This is a very difficult schedule at the start of the season. They've done a great job, guaranteed themselves 500 record.
You think about a couple of years ago when they were building UBS Arena for the Islanders, and they did that incredible road trip. We always say
ruined their season.
You can't make the playoffs in October, but you can certainly make it difficult and make your chances of making the playoffs a whole lot harder in the first couple of weeks. Well, the Kings certainly doing their best on Game 6 of that 7-game road trip to open up the season. When we come back on the Fly, week 2 of our new show on NHL Network, First Shift is in the books. After the break, check out some of the great guests that they've had this past week, including these guys.
Nikita Kucherov is absolutely world-class. Kuch is an artist out there.
When you're hot, the puck just finds you.
Austin Matthews to be able to score 60 goals doesn't happen very often. Watch out for 34.
This is Poof Litterizer, and it puts an end to litter box stink. Just sprinkle a few tablespoons onto clean litter for a dry and stink-free litter box. Look, this is about the same amount of pee-wee most cats make in a month. But just a few tablespoons of Poof Litterizer sucks up all that wetness and odor and won't let it go. You can't wring it out. You can't squeeze it out. Your litter box never gets a chance to stink.
All right.
Now give it a smell.
Literally smells like nothing.
That's crazy. And it makes litter last longer, slashing your litter cost. The Litterizer is a non-toxic, environmentally friendly formula used in top equestrian centers for over a decade to help keep horse stalls clean, dry, and sanitary. Other products claim to reduce litter box odor, but with the Litterizer, your litter box never gets a chance to stink because the Litterizer captures wetness and odor and won't let it go. And the Litterizer makes litter box cleanup a breeze. No more stinky litter boxes, no more stinky houses. No one's gonna come over and say, do you got a cat? Poof Litterizer eliminates unhealthy litter box odor and has no toxic or tacky fragrances. Poof Litterizer is the litter box civilizer, earning Cat Fancy's Editor's Choice Award for innovation. Call or go online to get a 16-ounce container of Poof Litterizer. Good for months of litter changes for just $24.95. It's guaranteed to save you double that in kitty litter costs. A dry and stink-free litter box that saves you time and money? It's a no-brainer! Get Poof Litterizer, the litter box civilizer, for just $24.95.
Traditions aren't just a part of hockey. They are hockey. All 32 teams have a tradition, and one night a year, you can catch them all.
The NHL Frozen Frenzy on ESPN and Whip Around coverage on ESPN Plus and ESPN2.
Be sure to follow NHL Network on all your favorite social platforms.
Boy, oh boy, it's a good day for me when I get to talk to Mike Modano.
Yeah.
And he's joining us today. I just got to ask with a simple question, because I don't know a lot of people that have this going for them. What's it like to have a statue of yourself somewhere in this world?
Can't lie, it's pretty neat. Pretty cool. I felt like this was kind of the final celebration that we could have, but to have a statue, doing the jersey, the retirement, everything that we've done down there. I mean, it's just, the fans were a big part of it. To sell the game down there that we thought wouldn't exist, it wouldn't happen, be successful, to turn out the way it is. I mean, that really meant more than anything.
We saw Jay over in Prague, Kevin Weeks and I, and he's kind enough to join us right now. What are the things you're doing to kind of, maybe reflect and to get better as you move forward in your own career?
Well, I like the way you said it, EJ. John Tortorella is just a fantastic human being. We were talking in the summertime. He extended an invitation to go to Philadelphia to watch some of his training camp, and I'm sure you guys know his training camps are legendary. I'll take some things from those few days with me going forward when I run my next training camp.
At what point for you did it start clicking like, hey, I really would like to become an NHL head coach?
Put a couple feelers out to junior teams. Didn't really get quite honestly, a lot of feedback for callbacks or emails until I finally got a call from Dale DeGray in Owen Sound. And him and Greg Ireland wanted to meet me. So I drove down to CGI and Dale. We had coffee in Barrie. Had a great meeting, and quite honestly, 2 days later, they offered me the assistant coach in Owen Sound, and I retired from playing and got into coaching.
You talk about hockey families at the National Hockey League level. I don't know how it gets much better than the Tkachuk family. Let's bring in now the patriarch of the family, Keith Tkachuk. And Keith, thanks so much for the time. I got to just start, simple question. How was your summer?
It was a little rough. It was, I will say, it was a dream come true. Anytime you could see your son hoist the Stanley Cup. It was a phenomenal experience for our family, our friends, and I was just so happy for Matthew, how much hard work he's put in, him along with his teammates, and be able to celebrate with that is something I'll never forget.
A great show with some great guests. It's NHL Tonight First Shift, newest addition to our slate of schedule and shows here on NHL Network. Airs Monday through Friday, every weekday here on the network, starting at 4 p.m. Eastern Time with EJ and a rotating cast of characters throughout the week. So tune into that. That's going to do it for this edition of On the Fly. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Jameson Coyle. We'll see you next time.